Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in to another video. I have my life partner with me, Aurora,
Hi.
and she's going to help me explain some of these things to you. I wanted to start to dive into universal disciplines. That way we can all start to understand where this is truly going. The best thing to do is to know that all of societal information is false. Please stay away from it. So please delete your social media. Please delete, stop reading up all of this societal information, the history, all these occult subjects. Just stop. Okay? Just stop and just listen for just 1 minute. Okay? So, these universal disciplines, or which this is going to be the start of one, is going to be the core concept of emotional awareness and emotional intelligence. Okay? Both go hand in hand. You'll understand that in just, a couple minutes. So, society itself. What is society? Society is an academic basis of information. This information basically gives a human being one subject to work on to build an occupation so it can provide for itself for the rest of its life stream. Okay. So, what exactly does this represent? So, academic subjects are not disciplines. Okay, that's why whenever you see throughout the world, all of the human beings here in our society took on an academic objective, built an occupation on it, and they're still unhappy. They're judgmental people, they have entropic behavior, they're chaotic, they're demoralized, they don't care. So, academia corresponds occupation. So your intelligence only coordinates the information in this program you've retained. Therefore, the smarter you seem, the more lost you really are. It's easier to occupy a lost mind than it is a mind finding itself. By separating the one subject into many, which is existence, this program can be sustained by constant flow of fallacy. But to the people that are lost, it is real because it, supports the image that they believe, that they were taught to believe. Okay? Now, what is this image? Okay? The image, basically, in a synopsis or a summation of idea, that we were, all of this is an accident. Life itself was an accident. We don't know where we came from. We're born dumb, so we have to be programmed and learn something. And it gives some occupying factor because we haven't been here for long. And the history gives a setting that we've only gotten this far because of it. So the only way to survive is societal success. That is also the same thing as Darwinian theory. Okay, Darwinian thought process says that some people will understand more than the other, and that gives that person the upper hand to succeed. That basically, anywho. So let's look at this image, okay? Image is idea. Information expands details on this image. Who will give you information on this image, though? Professionals, because they are the only ones qualified. Man is not divine enough to give another man a degree in something because they don't really know what they still don't understand or what they do understand about whatever they're getting the degree for. Okay? Which means all of these people you listen to, these artists, these academic supporters, politicians, political affiliates, even religious icons, a man is not divine enough to tell another man how to live its life or what it needs to learn to succeed. Okay? So, disciplined ones cannot be given what it cannot give itself. It is fully independent, meaning it's going to farm for itself. It's going to research for itself. It's going to learn everything it can so it can become something more. Okay? The non-disciplined ones will exist to fundamentals given to it, so it becomes dependent. Now, what about the ones that are curious enough to look into this information? Well, the curious ones will follow and study the fundamentals that was given to it to find its dependence in their independence. They will follow what they believe these fundamentals are. They become dependent. Meaning, you have some people say, oh, I'm a completely independent person. Nobody pays my bills. I pay for my own groceries, this, and that. But really, they're still depending on a job to give them currency to obtain these things. So they're still dependent. Does that make sense? Okay. This is where it's going to get kind of complex. So let's talk about one discipline. And remember how I said yesterday, there's a difference between logical subjects, which it's all one, and then you have societal subjects, which there's many. Okay, and that's why legion is the population of society. We are legion, we are many. That's what that represents. Now, let's get into some logical metaphysics. Okay? Logical metaphysics. I kind of abbreviated it here, so, that way you know what I'm talking about. I mean, I kind of thought it was obvious, but, never know. So, logical metaphysics is universal philosophy that is concerned with the fundamental nature of reality. These two will go hand in hand. It is emotional concern met with logical observation, built with universal understanding. This comes from the when a human being exists within its lifetime, it has memory. It holds data. Okay, and this kind of supports and pertains to its future, the days that it hasn't lived yet. Okay. Now, in order to develop this mindset, one must know thyself. Okay, this starts the domino effect leading to universal awareness and memory, which means you will be able to see the lies in whatever somebody is telling you based off of what you have learned about yourself. Okay, this will give you a universal understanding of the whole nature of our reality and world. Okay, this is how I got here, and this is how Aurora got here.
Yeah.
So, the experiences in life that details retained universals gives a substantial understanding of reality. This is called, in other words, the laws of attraction. But this only works for unified individuals. It is natural law. Irresponsibility or irresponsible or dependent humans are not allowed to have this unified natural law. That's why they say, hey, if you want something, you got to work for it. You know what I mean? But for people like me and you, okay, we legit have to do something completely different in our lives just to get to where we want to be in an aspect, because we don't have the choice to live the life we want. We legit have to convert ourselves to this system. Sound familiar? So, there is no such thing as science, as literature, as history, as language, and as physics. You see, our parents, our families, through generations and generations, we're supposed to be building our morals off of what our family's been doing and why, how they learned these things. Okay? It would not only expand us, but we would be continuing our tradition, our family's traditions. Okay? Therefore, science, literature, history, language, and physics has nothing to do with any of those. Okay? Because this is the main framework for the dependent in a societal manner. A universal understanding is all of this. It is called life. It is in existence. And this is called the life stream memory of experience. Okay? People think if you study history, it's going to tell you how to stop what's going on. No. History is to keep you occupied. Okay? Now, there's a difference. Okay? Studying history. What kind of history, though? Your life history, your family's history. That way you can gain a nice fundamental understanding of yourself and what you're going to be doing in your future. But all of that has to do with what language you're using, the physicality or the reality basis and representation of this information. Okay? Literature has nothing to do with this, and neither does science. These are two different branches of language and physics. This is how they keep changing and creating different subjects to hide this true world. Okay? By doing this, them creating different branches of the same subject and giving different certain types of fundamental information can support a different type of image. But all of them put together, just like I said, is like society. It just keeps creating all of this false information because it still supports this image. You know, we were in an accident. We really don't have that much to do. This is basically what we've gotten to thus far. And if you use logic in that, you can completely understand that we're living a limited life. Okay? By separating subjects and states of thoughts and more. Whew. So by doing this, it builds an existence of unawareness, because you're constituting a human to one subject to build an occupation around, like accounting or a doctor or a cashier or a shoemaker.
I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah, the scientist, stuff like that. So this starts to create incomplete thinking, and once that happens, I mean, you wouldn't really know where you are. You're in an environment that you do not understand. This gives you irrational behavior because you're lost, and it gives you a chaotic thought process, okay? Because it sees existence as reasonless, which gives false emotion like depression, loneliness, anger. When people worry, they're betting against themselves. Does that make sense? Oh, I'm so worried that I can't do this and I can't do that. Number one, that's not your job, okay? You're just doing this to yourself, okay? Every emotion has a choice. Like if somebody comes up to you and tells you the truth about something and you get angry, you honestly weren't ready to hear that truth. Okay? So remember, everything starts with a choice. Like I had a friend tell me that he basically knows that we're paying for wireless energy, and it's a monopoly, and there's nothing we can do about it. That's a choice to believe that. I believe we can, and that's exactly what I'm doing here, and so are you. Okay? So anyways, it sees existence as reasonless, and it was born to be chaotic anyway. Like they say humans were born in sin. Well, if you teach, human beings are like dogs. They're going to teach, it's going to do what you teach it to do. It's easier to make someone materialistic when they have an infinite void of something missing. Because they start feeling it. Oh yeah, materials make me feel better. Hey, look at my car, and look at my house. Look at how successful I am. You know what I mean? Okay? This is also a part of the ego, and yes, we will be getting into that. Okay? This helps a human become a two-thought mind and body. Because it cannot learn or experience more than two, which is you can't experience more than what you sense and what you find in pleasure or success off of what you sense. This is called identity, like the birth certificate, or your social media profile, or your social media images. People are represented as a physical body, which, if I was in front of you telling you this, then you would see me physically, with no life, and artificial on the internet. This is also the ego, because there are false identities. These are all false identities, okay? If somebody comes up to me and says, you need to start listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson because he's a physicist. No. That's an identity. I don't need that. I don't need one man. One man telling you about one subject? That is so much limited information. How come this man can't tell us about more? That's how you know he's scamming you. Like I said in some of my first videos, if you ask a physicist, why do planets have elliptical flows of rotation? He's going to tell you he does not know. He's only going to show you how it does. That means what he's showing you is a lie. Okay? So, now what do I say when I say, social media images of people are represented as a physical body with no life? Because if you're not existing in this reality and getting to know it, you're legit a fucking zombie. You are dead inside. You have no life to live. Okay? And some of you, have already, given me this idea, so, So, this quote, there's two different quotes here. If you're here, then you already know where they came from. So, the lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. And if you have ears, you better listen. Meaning, a careless and lifeless human is so demoralized it does not care of its cause and effect. Its senses have been changed into pleasure, sex, money, materials, and guess what? Nothing will stand in their way to get what they desire, because that's all they were taught. Okay? A universal and disciplined human is full of life, wonder, wisdom, and spirit. It sees one world, it sees one subject, and it will not stop at any cost to bring balance to this world once more. One is emotional intelligent, and one can only repeat and plagiarize what it sees and does. There's a big difference. And like I said yesterday, if you take a whole bunch of human beings and you teach them one fundamental or focalized version of reality, they're all going to become the same person. Like, everybody in society is the same person. And then other people are going to be like, because I do this, this, and this, and everybody else is doing something different. Really? Because you're buying the same groceries, listening to the same music, you live in the same country, so you're looking at the same type of government. Okay? And no matter what, your opinion is always pushed from something else. So you're not even feeling you, you're feeling other things. Like I said, you're not full of life yourself, you're full of what everybody else is doing because of what you're being told. Okay? Learning this world and everything in it. Learning and studying reality and your relation to it brings natural wisdom, which is emotional intelligence. It brings self and world respect, emotional intelligence. It brings natural law, emotional intelligence. If you learn yourself, you will learn the universe. You are one with it, or else we wouldn't be able to correspond with this reality and exist. Each created being, animal, etc., which etc., if you didn't know, means end of thought process or something like that. Anyways, everything has a specific purpose. So stop consuming everything that gives our world balance. When I say don't eat meat, this is why. Because how would you feel if another advanced civilization came here and they were farming us and eating us, and we were completely aware of that, so we would try to stay away from their cities. And then they would just come to us in the woods or wherever we would be and hunt us down like we do animals. Do you understand? You need to consume what nature gives you, which is all you need. Man cannot give you knowledge. Man is not divine to tell any of us anything.
And some people do say that when you do hunt, it helps keep the population of the animals down. What about that?
And the thing about it is, how do they know that? I mean, if everybody stopped hunting for, I don't know, maybe 10 years, do you think we would still have enough evidence to support that thesis? Of course not. It's an idea. It's an image. Do you understand? Oh, wow, that's it. Wow, okay. So, yeah.
Flew through that.
Yeah, that was actually fairly quick. So, the moral is this. If all of us get together and we go out in the wilderness and we start planting, we start creating our community, we start helping everybody understand a larger fundamental to reality, if you do it with hate, how far do you think you're going to get? Well, society programs humans to become hateful. When you put a human being in a closed system, you are separating it from its natural environment. And when you do that, and you create an illusionary world based upon that, because that's the only way to keep the illusion going on, you're going to get chaotic individuals. And then, this is common sense, obviously, and then people around the world are going to say, hey man, humans were born in sin, we're born evil. So of course we need this system. And then there you go, there's the insurance for society. So when they keep telling you about all these wars and, all these different negative things, it's going to make your world stay negative. Okay? Now, if you have any other questions, don't worry. We're going to keep this going. Okay? We're going to talk about more disciplines. Okay? We're going to talk more about all kinds of stuff, but you guys do need to prepare yourself. Start getting tools. Like, get a couple hatchets, a couple nice hand saws, start collecting seeds. You can go to any type of department store, which I really hate to tell you to do this, but we're going to be getting into why later. I know how to plant food that is so big that you can eat, like, one piece of it, and you'll be full for hours instead of consuming so much that you become obese or something like that. I also know how to convert fruit back to its natural state just by using soil in the ground, okay? There's so much that we need to get through to this, okay? Now, I have a Discord, okay? So you guys can come and find me on it. Please add yourselves. Hey, look, you joined it.
Yep.
You joined us a long time ago. So, we're going to have different text channels, such as, how to farm bigger fruit, how to build a hut. We're going to be talking about universal love. We're going to be talking about our experiences, like how we got to where we are. We're going to be talking about, different questions that we have. Can somebody explain this to me? And before you know it, you'll realize how connected we all are to this. So please, how do I make you, oh, there we go, Beyond the Unknown Realm. How do I I don't know, but this is the name. Please join. I mean, I'm pretty sure they can search it and join it, right?
Yeah,
Like they can
probably.
search the server. Okay.
If not, we can put a link underneath.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can do that. So please join me. Share this with your family. Share this with your friends, because as you see what's going on in the world right now, their final plans are almost done. Don't confuse yourself, okay? This is all for one thing, but we're going to get through this. Now, I hope you guys know I'm hoping to get everything said, done, and understood within the next 5 to 6 months, and we are going to be out of here. That is my plan. It's probably not going to happen like that because nothing ever goes according to plan, but everything always happens for a reason. And if you have, universal wisdom and hyper-universal love, really, within you, then the laws of attraction will make sure everything works out. And don't worry, I got your back. Aurora's got your back. Okay? And I'm pretty sure everybody else here watching this video has your back. So let's get this done. There is no reason to wait anymore, and I'm not going to fail because of this. This is my world too, and you are all my people. Now let's make a difference, yeah?